they had a series of ground rules. If you hit the ball in among the spectators, which was quite common, in right field, then it was a single. But if it was hit to the left of a certain power pole, it was a double. And they had all these different ground rules, but left field is quite a bit deeper. I can't remember the street that is by the left field corner, but that was quite a bit, left field was quite a bit deeper. The umpire, who was very well known as a black man named Abe Mortimer, who always worked home plate, the official scorer was a friend of mine named Norm Wassini. And Norm would sit up on a little bench behind home plate, and when the kids would run down a foul ball, which went over the screen and bounced into the Mar Hotel behind on Powell Street, the kids would bring the baseball back to the official scorer and get 10 cents. And Norm had a little electric motor, and he had 2 wheels spinning around there. One was a brush to clean up the baseball. The other had white chalk with it to whiten up the baseball. And then he would toss it down to Ab so they could continue to get this game. They'd use the baseballs over and over. The conditions in the field weren't great, but there were a lot of good athletes playing there. But of course, I didn't see it when the Japanese community was so prominent there in baseball. I saw it after the war, in the late 40s and in the 50s. But even in the 50s, the Powell Street grounds hummed with baseball, and the Industrial League was where a lot of good young athletes played. The CYO team was loaded with the traditional Vancouver College athletes, the Mulhern boys, the Murphys, all these kids. And so it was a memorable time in baseball in Vancouver. But Vancouver's had this amazing history. A baseball park at Homer Street in Smythe, can you imagine? And I have a picture in my collection here of the ballpark, and I was at 1947 at the Vancouver Capolanos game. That was Athletic Park for the longest time, then it became Capolanos Stadium. But if you approach the Granville Street Bridge today, you go up that ramp at the end of Hemlock Street, that was a ballpark. 5th and Hemlock.
Right at 5th and Hemlock, yeah.
It's hard to believe that there was a baseball park there. Down below, over the bluff, was Giraudet Sawmills, and down below, behind you, was Granville Island, which was all industry. But the outfield and left field was sort of in sawdust fill, so it was full of moguls, dips and dives, and a long ways to the left field wall, and then deep center field. But right field, the other side of the right field fence was 6th Avenue. And behind 6th Avenue, a row of beautiful old Vancouver houses, those 3-story houses, you still see a few of them. So it was only 279 feet, I think, down the right field line to the corner. So they had a big, high wooden fence. Above that, a high screen, but a lot of the games were played at night. So a line drive hit into right field would come off the fence for just a single, because a guy would play the carom and it would be a long single off the wall. But if it went into the screen, it was usually a double, because it would soften the ball and he could get to second base. But quite often, it went through the screen, which created a huge argument, because was it a home run or was it a ground rule double? But other times, when a guy named Charlie Meade was a big slugger with the Capolanos, hit one over the screen, it would go into those houses on 6th Avenue. But it was baseball center for Vancouver for a long time.
Fantastic. And for those of you that don't know as well,